All right, so Acho, does Dak Prescott sound overconfident?
He does sound overconfident, big dog. Cowboys, they got 99 problems, and Dak Prescott's confidence, it might be one. Here is why. If y'all were listening to the quote, you would catch the problem. The quote from the receiver was Dak Prescott said, "We are going to light up the league."
Yes.
In theory, that sounds like a great thing. But lighting up the league, that mentality in May, will lead to lighting up the loss column in August, September, and October.
Oh.
So, what? I got to go to the big board, big dog. I got to go to the big board. And we started the show early. That's why I needed the vest. I needed the vest because I could move.
You need to move.
I needed the vest because I am flexible. And I needed the vest because I'm going to break this down for you. Now, Dak Prescott said he's going to light up the league. But let me show you, Cowboys fans, why that's problematic. I'm just going to do it in story form. We all know the Cowboys' defense was very bad last year through the first 4 games of the season. But it really wasn't the worst defense in the league. The worst defense, even worse than the Cowboys, was the Green Bay Packers. Why do I say that? Packers actually allowed more yards per play. It was slight, but they allowed more yards per play than the Cowboys. Packers averaging 6.06, Cowboys averaging 6.00. Now, why in the world did the Cowboys give up more points? Because the Cowboys had to play more plays. But why did they have to play more plays? Because as you move on to the next progression, as you move on to the next slide, you'll see the 2 quarterbacks. Now, you better believe Dak Prescott was on pace to light up the league. Last year, he was going to give you significantly more yards than the Packers quarterback and Aaron Rodgers. He was going to give you significantly more yards a game, and he was going to throw for more attempts throughout the course of the season. Oh, Dak was going to light up the league, but at what cost? That's the question, Cowboys fans, you have to ask yourself. Because if the offense helps the defense and the defense helps special teams and they all work together as a team, then lighting up the league, it might cost you a little something. Because as we roll to the next slide, you'll see the biggest difference between the 2 teams. Packers, they ranked first in time of possession, meaning they were going to possess the football the longest. They were going to mask their deficiencies on defense. The Cowboys, on the other hand, 31st, second to last in time of possession. So while, yes, offensively, the Cowboys were on pace to light up the league, what they weren't going to do, as you look at the next slide, they sure as heck were not about to light up the win column, because through 4 games in the season, I just told you, and I just showed you, not my opinion, the Packers actually had a worse defense as far as giving up more yards per play than the Cowboys. But the Cowboys were 1-3, the Packers were 4-0, because Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't really concerned with lighting up the league. He was concerned with lighting up the win column. So Marcellus Wiley,
yes,
not only is Dak overconfident, but in my opinion, that thought process is really tripping, because light up the league if you want to, but that ain't gonna do nothing but lighten up the W's.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Way to turn a positive into a negative. I am not worried about...
I'm a truth teller, Marcellus.
You are.
I'm a truth teller.
Yeah, but it's going to start after that take. It didn't happen during that take. Are you kidding me right now? I have no issues with his confidence level or overconfidence right now. Let's be real about this situation. You tried to give us an argument, which I respect, about complementary football. At what cost?
Yes, sir.
Correct? But that's almost like saying if I come out here with this fire take, which I am, and then you don't do your part, defense, you're going to say, Marcellus, why'd you come with that fire take? What does it matter? At what cost? It's on you on the other side to do your job. But Dak Prescott, certainly when healthy, did his job. I respect what you said, though, right there. But let's always remember, too, we look at the sample size of Dak Prescott in those first few games, going 2-3. You got to remember that projections aren't even. You know why? After 5 games, what were the Pittsburgh Steelers? 5-0. After 11 games, what were the Pittsburgh Steelers? 11-0. What were they at the end of the season? 12-5. Interesting how those projections aren't always even. But let me get back to Dak Prescott and why he's so damn cocky. Cocky, something that I just can't help. Clips, baby. This is why he's so cocky. One, he's in the lab, and you've been in the lab before every single offseason. Please don't listen to my music. Please don't check my psyche and my mindset right now. I'm in the kitchen cooking it up like a stir fry,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And if you don't want to know how the sausage is made, don't take a look. Don't take a peek, and don't take a listen. We have so much intel right now. We know everything. Simi comes on and tells us what Dak is like. You know what the problem with that is? This is the time, protected space for Dak Prescott to be cocky. So to go crazy, you got to get crazy. And that's where he is right now. We all have done it. You don't believe me? Go to any pregame. any pregame of any NFL football game, y'all bought your tickets, get there early. Once you're there early, you're going to watch all these guys run around with these headphones, Beats by Dre's, big old subwoofers on their head. And every one of those guys is trying to go to that special place. And that special place, if you're sitting there as a fan, you're like, damn, he look like he's psycho. He going to go kill him. Keep watching. All those dudes ain't good. All those dudes ain't right. But Dak Prescott is. Let me tell you who Dak Prescott is in the last sentence before I give you this baton back. He's the second highest paid player in NFL history with the best contract in NFL history on America's team that is the highest value franchise in all of sports with a star on his helmet and the reason this team can win and contend. Wouldn't you be cocky in that moment? I know I would.
I would be cocky, but it comes down to this, Sel.
What?
Football, is you know better than anybody watching this show, is the ultimate team game. We got to dive in there. We have to dive in there because I'm going to do y'all a disservice if I didn't tell y'all the truth of the matter. And so we would be doing them a disservice if we didn't keep it real with them. Dak Prescott put up phenomenal numbers last year.
Yes.
He did. Yes. On pace to throw for, I just showed y'all, 6,000 plus yards. But lighting up the box score means nothing if you're hanging your squad out to dry. Back in August, you remember this, popped a blood vessel in my vocal cord. I said, hey, Marcellus, it's hard for me to talk, big dog. I'm going to need you to pick up the slack, do some extra reads, take us to commercial break, etc. Now, you could have not done that. You could have hung me out to dry. But you knew that Acho is down right now.
Yeah.
So you have to do more for the sake of the team.
I'm with you.
What I'm saying is Dak Prescott, he might be shining, and good for Dak Prescott. But if the defense is down right now, somebody got to pick up the slack. And the slack might not necessarily look like lighting up the scoreboard. Because what was Aaron Rodgers doing? Aaron Rodgers probably would have loved to go out there and throw 209 times in his first 4 games. He would have loved to throw for 400-plus yards a game. Instead, he only threw 130 times in his first 4 games, only threw for 300 yards a game. But what did he do? They maintained the ball longer, allowing their terrible defense, because, by the way, Packers defense, worse than the Cowboys, allowed them to hide because they had some deficiencies, like you allowed me to hide when I had some vocal deficiencies.
Love it.
I'm not mad at Dak. I'm just trying to caution you all that you got to understand, if in May you're thinking about, yeah, we about to light him up, we about to light him up, we about to light him up, does Dak Prescott and the rest of the Cowboys offense have the mental fortitude to pivot? Because if you go into a game and it's like, hey, okay, first game of the season, we're playing the Buccaneers. This is what we need to do, Dak. We got to run the ball 35 times a game. We might only pass it 25. This is what we need to do. First and second down, let's try to establish the run game. Man, but what about CD? What about Amari? I thought we was going to light him up, coach. Man, they paying me $160 over 4 years. Does Dak Prescott and the rest of the stars on offense, $100 million receiver, first-round pick wide receiver, $160 million quarterback, do they have the mental fortitude to say, we're going to do whatever it takes for the team to win as opposed to lighting up the scoreboard?
Well, even great teams struggle with that. The Kansas City Chiefs, hey, they told you, stop throwing it deep, methodical, up and down the field, move the chains. They couldn't do it. They struggled. They didn't even want to. They were too arrogant. Seattle Seahawks, latter part of last season, the regular season, every team told you what to do. Didn't want to do it. Arrogant, caught up in trying to light it up as well. So let's not put all this on Dak Prescott. Is your vocal cords okay right now?
I still hurt, honestly.
I'm about to say, because I'm still picking up the slack. What the hell is going on? Like, I'm still doing more reads than you. Let's start here. Stop bringing up Aaron Rodgers. Stop bringing up Aaron. Because his coach don't like him. Aaron Rodgers would like to throw the ball 200-plus times in the first 4 games, but his coach doesn't like him. His coach is trying to feed Aaron Jones. His coach doesn't want him to get all the shine, so that's why I don't like that example. What example I do like is Dak Prescott and his resume. I like the fact that when healthy, they've never had a losing season. I like the fact that when he was healthy last year, they had the #1 offense. Why does that matter? Because if you look at the teams last year that had the highest scoring offenses, the top 9 all made the playoffs. You trying to tell me that type of mindset, that arrogance and cockiness is going to lead to you actually putting up numbers that leads to the playoffs? Absolutely. So only one team last year finished with more than 400 yards of offense, and that was the Kansas City Chiefs. Dak Prescott was on schedule, on pace to do just that. These are all positives. Like it's weird putting himself in a cocky space instead of a humble space is something that now we're going to try and shoot him down for and bring him back to earth. Why? Let him leave the stratosphere. He was certainly trying to do it before the injury last year in terms of all of his numbers. And you talk about complementary football. Let's talk about us being partners and complementing each other. Their defense last year was 7th ranked in terms of creating turnovers. That's a positive. Playing defense, if you can get the ball back, you're going to help Dak Prescott in his offense. And 11th ranked passing defense. I mean, you really got to dive into the details to know that there were some positives with their defense, but complementary football can work if Dak Prescott certainly does his job.
The question I think that has to be answered is this, though.
What's that?
An individual positive can be a collective negative.
Yes, sir.
You a married man, so you know way better than me.
Why don't you go to rap groups or something?
Nah, because you know better than me about collections and teams.
Okay.
I'm an individual right now, right? I'm a free agent. I'm out here. I'm a free agent. But you're not.
And you taking a lot of recruit trips, too.
And what I would have to assume, Sel, is you can live your life doing whatever you want. Hey, I got to go to work. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm making X amount of dollars. I'm making this. I was that dude. But your individual positives might lead your team, your wife, your team, your 4 kids. Like, yeah, I mean, you shining. You on TV. You got your own show. But what about us? Because just because you that dude don't mean y'all that team. And the issue at hand, so I'm cautioning Cowboys fans, not so much you, but I'm cautioning Cowboys fans. Dak Prescott can be that dude.
Okay.
You was that dude.
That dude.
But that dude don't translate to having that team. And after not even going to a championship game for 25 consecutive years, don't you think that the Cowboys should let their play do the talking? Yeah, we're going to light up the scoreboard. Zeke told us last year, Marcellus, Wiley, that this was the most talented offense he had ever been around.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones told us last year that, man, I feel good about this team, better about this team than I have in the last 5 or 10 years. That was Stephen Jones. CeeDee Lamb last month, offensively at the skill positions, I feel like we can compete with anybody. Mike McCarthy in late August. Man, I think, frankly, the conversation is nonsense if you're not trying to win Super Bowls. Can they stop talking and start playing? That's it. I got on my blue because I was feeling Dallas-like today. Okay. You know I'm from Dallas. My cell phone number, it starts with 214, okay? So I'm repping as hard as anybody can rep. But I'm tired of the talk because it's so cheap.
But it's unfortunate that they're in this position where they have to talk. Like, even in our day, and our day didn't really coincide and overlap, but in your day, microphones was in your face. In my day, there were a few microphones in our face. Now, forget a microphone, my phone is here. I'm recording everything. So they have to answer. And I think after a while, the quantity of answers will lead to less quality. All of a sudden, you start hearing, dog, this dude cocky as hell. What the hell are you talking about? There are opponents. But remind yourself, when you look in the mirror, there are no opponents unless you are scared of yourself. Dak Prescott has the 2nd highest passer rating through 5 seasons of any quarterback in the Super Bowl era. Hello. Should he be cocky? I think a little bit. Over the last 2 seasons, no players averaged more passing yards per game than Dak Prescott. Dog, it's almost like they say, it ain't tricking if you got it. Is it really cocky if you're doing it? Like, he's doing it. It's just he needs everyone else to do it. Let's be real. Mike McCarthy, coach. Be a Super Bowl champion coach like you are. Defense, come on. You got too many names now. And Michael Parsons in the building. Play defense. We can balance this out. But let's not bring Dak down so that the defense can go up. Dak has to stay up here. They just need to catch up.
That's fair. Oh, God, we going
Come
places?
On.
We going
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
But I'm just wondering, because you always challenge me to do this, and I'm going to challenge y'all with one of the greatest things Sel has taught me, which his former colleague taught him, was when you're looking at assessing a fighter in a boxing match, you could just say, who would you have rather been in that round? Who would you rather be? Right? If you're looking at the scorecard and you don't know, who would you have rather been? When you talk about Dak's first 5 years, prolific, or you talk about Russell Wilson's first 5 years, even talk about Joe Flacco's first 5 years, who would you rather be? I know for sure Russ, because Russ had a Super Bowl, went to 2. Flacco, he won a Super Bowl and also signed for the highest paid $1 million at that time, but he had a Super Bowl. Who would you rather be? So Dak is lighting up the scoreboard, and maybe if you want to live in Dallas, I totally understand that. You lived in Dallas, I live in Dallas my whole young adult life. But if we're really asking the question of who would you rather be, I don't know if it's Dak. So all this confidence you speak of, Marcellus Wiley, all this confidence you speak of, even Russ wasn't this confident 5 years in. 5 years in.
Hey.
Now Russ different dude. Russ a different dude.
Remix.
But 5 years in,
yes.
Russ wasn't this confident. Flacco ain't never talked like that.
Nah.
And mind you, you could argue Flacco wasn't who Dak was, but Flacco, 11 touchdowns.
Why you pick Flacco?
Super Bowl.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's not exciting at all, but he won a Super Bowl in his first 5 years, and he also signed a $100 million deal at quarterback. So I'm like, who would you rather be? Yes, Dak has earned confidence, but has he, Sal? Like, what has he really done from a collective to say, I'm out here and I'm going to say everything I want with my chest? Because why? Because why?
Hey, let's be real now. Now, the segment we've been doing is great. This is even greater. Success is not linear. If I had to be Russ, first 5 years, Dak, or Flacco, you out the conversation. It's just Dak and Russ. Let's be real about it.
Why?
I'm going to tell you why. Because Russell Wilson was getting sunned by his own peers. They had to get rid of all the alpha males in that locker room just so he can be the leader that he is. Think about it. Dak Prescott is a fourth-round draft pick who's not even supposed to touch the field. First year, 13 wins. There was no issues in terms of leadership, in terms of respect, in terms of reverence. Russell Wilson couldn't even get his guys to follow him. Matter of fact, people take shots at Russell to this day saying, that first ring, that ain't yours. And the second ring is on you for us losing it. Versus Dak, who hasn't been in that position. So I understand why you would want to be him, but a person and a player combination of Dak Prescott, it's hard to take backseat to anybody, including Russell Wilson, in that conversation. All that said, it's okay to be cocky, dog. I know you cocky. I mean, you DM me another commercial you in, and I'm like, damn, it ain't even out yet. You got two, but I got 20 DMs from you. It's okay. Be cocky.